Welcome back to the Unfit crew. God, it's been a while. How are you all doing today?
Dying.
I'm fine.
Good. Sure. Let's go with that. Anyway, today we're going to basically continue with the story, which I think some of us already forgot because it's been a while since we recorded this. We have some particular issues because of, how should I say this, personal stuff that came up and other things. So that sometimes happens. But we're going to jump right into the story right now with basically reminding you what happened in the last episode. So in the last episode, the Unfit crew basically took the dwarf guard friend that they have and met at the basically the small village Vikrin, the small village named Vikrin. In the gates of it, he was the guard that helped them at the start, and his name is Eldritch. They took him. Yes, it's canon, by the way. They took him, and they decided their attack on the gnoll camp, the smaller one first. They attacked it, dealt with it, but in the midst of all the chaos and all the gnolls they killed and wolves, the spirit of the wolf that basically leading the attack on the village, which is named Astronak, basically kind of like attacked them in his spiritual form. Not really attacked them, but like was around and kind of like aided the gnolls because they kind of just used their magic to bring him, to the plane. And essentially he vanished after they killed all the gnolls, but also said an ominous thing that he will avenge his child, and if they want to understand everything, he wants to meet them in the middle of the woods. But that's where we left off after the group basically, saw that, he left, and now we're going to pick right off from where we left off after also you dealt with the gnolls. Eldritch is now on the ground, he's unconscious, and I'm pretty sure you kind of like picked him up, right? Like you kind of like brought him down to 0 HP, or you're going to leave him to die. Your choice, by the way.
Well, hey, Fire Guy, you got any berries? You got any of those berries for him?
Some.
That would help. Or should I heal him
now? What's going on?
Or should I heal him?
I mean, I could just mix some berries.
Get some berries. Cook
just
the
make
berries
and leave him to die. Big brain.
Leave the berries next to him. If he wakes up, then he can eat them.
Yeah, just get some berries or something.
Okay.
Yes, I can make good berry.
Berry.
Can we loot him?
Loot him, then give him good berry. Say, if he wakes up, say that's the price that he had to pay for us healing him.
Oh,
God damn it, Bobby.
So you're going to get him up, or you're going to lift him to die? That's what I'm getting from this. You're going to leave him to die. Got it.
Yes.
Are we
We're
actually?
leaving him to die?
Yeah, we are.
You want to?
Okay, I'm looting him dead.
I mean, it's not going to give you a favor with the village, like, leave him to die, basically. It's not going to give you anything if you want to save that village.
Wait, hold up. I can't loot him because that would be evidence towards the fact we left him to die.
I mean...
Okay, we may want to help him. We may want to help him.
So we just need to loot him
and die.
him.
I mean, I'm not sure if they will 100% believe you that he actually died, if all of you survived, kind of, in a way. Maybe they will, but it's persuasion stuff, so you're not, like, I'm not sure. It's persuasion and I guess also deception, in a way, because you did kill him, leave him to die, so that's great.
Okay, I vote we're going to help him.
Wait, I'm the one with the berries. Well, I'm just gonna do it without their permission.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So he's now up. He's kind of like a little bit unconscious, but he's kind of like getting up. So basically, are you guys going to take a long rest or a short rest right now, basically getting your HP up, or you don't really care about it, you feel that you're fine?
Well, we're
Long
kind of taking a long rest. What?
You're taking a long rest, that's mean that you are, like, I believe right now it's kind of like noon, so if you want to meet Astronak, or whatever the wolf name is, Astronak, yes, that's the name. I forget my own name sometimes. But if you actually
nice
want
fitting
to
foot
basically meet him in the middle of the woods, you could, or you can just decide to go back to the village. It's honestly your choice at this point. He said that he want to meet with you and talk with you, but you can decide whatever you want to. He said at midnight to meet him, so technically you do have the time to go to sleep and essentially maybe trying to navigate like with the 4 or 5 hours left that you have through the woods, because you started very early in the morning, right? The kind of like everything, the planning. Let's say the planning and finding all of this kind of like took like 3 hours. I'm pretty sure taking the entire camp pretty much took like about an hour or two. You can decide to take a long rest, although I'm not sure specifically. Just to double check Arcana or Hollow, can they take a long rest anytime that they want to? Or it's kind of like supposed to be like after a few certain hours have passed in the day. I just want to be 100% certain about this.
The only quote-unquote usual restriction is once a day. There's nothing that says about what part of the day.
So basically, if you're going to take a long rest now, that means that technically in the night you will not get the long rest. Kind of, right? That's what it means.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
That's
let's-
usually how it's
let's-
used.
so you
but
can
let's
take
be real,
a
if you
short
sleep
rest,
with-
and depending on how many hours have passed, of course, you roll one of your die rolls. But do whatever you want specifically. There are also some abilities that do recover after what I call it, a short rest, so you should be fine.
I don't think I have my abilities tracked right now.
You should.
It's been a little bit too long for me.
Also, it looks like Brownie is a little bit having a problem with his connection to Roll20, apparently.
Oh gosh.
I accidentally did this thing. I'm using a laptop. I like two fingers swiped
Okay.
to the right, and that made me go back, and it exited me out of the D&D session here. So I just had to get back in real quick.
God damn it. Okay, let me check one thing. Let me check a thing. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, guys, so
basically,
okay, guys, so we can.
Okay, continue. Like I kind of like I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Okay, I'm getting used to it
Yeah, that's
at
fine.
this point in the campaign. Okay, guys, so we can do one of two things. We can go back to the village, or go meet the big wolf man.
I mean, you have a few hours.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Also,
Okay, so
I need to
our
sleep.
options are, you
I
said
don't feel
village
my
or
arm.
wolfman.
It's
Yes.
a wolf spirit, also. And basically, I believe, just to clarify, if you want to take a short rest right now, I believe all of the spells of Cable are going to return back. I believe most of Bobby's important abilities, which I think is Second Wind and I forgot the name of Action Surge, supposed to restore as well on a short rest, I believe. Gorgnak, I don't
The second
think...
one is long rest.
Second Wind is long rest?
Second one is long rest.
So Action Surge is supposed to restore, I believe, in short rest. And then you have not Bobby, Gorgnak, that I don't think anything restores, and I think also for what is his name, Mundane, I don't think everything specifically restores. But it's also depending on the number of HP that you have. So
Yeah, I only get back HP on a short rest.
I don't think I did use second
how
wind, so I'm
damage-
actually good on that.
how damaged are you, basically?
Well, I've got about a little more than a fourth of my HP left.
Mm-hmm. You can also use spells if you have enough spells of those to heal each other, by the way.
On the scale
that's
of 1 to 40, Grognak's HP is 18.
So I recommend
Oh,
for all of you to basically maybe like, take because specifically if you want to go to midnight anyway, like, you know, you're going to meet with him with midnight, you do need to navigate and everything. I guess you will need, like, about, like, few hours. You don't really need that much. Like, let's say, take a rest of, like, 1 or 2 hours. You'll see how you stand on, and if you want to, you can extend this. So let's say we're doing that, right? We'll start with 2 hours for everyone, and then depending on it, we'll extend it a little bit more, okay?
Hold up. The most important thing, I haven't looted any of the things. How long does that take?
You do, like, how much AP you have? I'm pretty sure you have high enough, so it probably mean that you're going to skip on one of your rests if you're doing this. Like, you're going to skip on 1 hour at the very least for your short rest. So if we are taking this for 2 hours, you are going to sacrifice one of your die rolls to gain HP back, because it takes time to loot these things, okay?
That's fine. I have a small... I only have 32. I'm pretty sure I didn't use my second wind, but used the action surge, so I just need the short rest.
I recommend to not use the second wind if you're not in combat. There's really no reason to.
Yeah, like... But I don't think I used it when I was in combat on this one.
Also, if you're just almost, like, to full HP, like, even 3/4, that should be enough for another fight or two today, so it's fine.
I have 10 with 32.
Also, I am, like I said to you, I'm going to amp the difficulty, so you're going to expect maybe 5 to 2 to sometimes a 3 a day, depending on the situation. So I'm pretty sure you'll be fine, like, with addition, like, you know, if you have 3/4 of your health, you should be fine. Like, normally, I'm just going to say this in ruling, or, like, the idea of the base that I read, it's like, normally, characters with their short rest and everything should be able to survive 5 encounters, like normal encounters, every day, basically before they're going to the long rest. Mostly, for the most part. Before they're going down and everything. So, you should be fine. So,
alright.
We're going to do the following.
The emphasis on should.
We're going to do the following. We're going to basically, everyone that want to take a short rest of 2 hours, roll 2 hours. If Bobby, you want to loot, take a 1 die of D10 and add, of course, your constitution, and basically add it to your total of health, and then we'll roll the things that you need for the looting.
Alright.
So,
okay, we haven't done... We haven't done that in a while, so that's
for you,
one roll of
I'm
my
going to
hit
go
die,
over
right?
this right now. For you and Mundane, it's going to be D8 plus your constitution for each die. So it's basically D8 for you plus, let's say 4, 2 times. So it's 2D8s plus 8, let's say. For Mundane, same idea, 2D8s plus his own constitution twice. For K-Bolt, I believe it's a D6. And for Bobby, it's a D10. So that's how that works, okay?
So roll
2d8.
2d
Everybody
plus
do their
4.
own, please, at the moment.
Okay, I don't know how this is going to work.
Okay, 1d5. That's fine. So for you, it's a plus 4. Do you have only 2 constitution? I believe you have more, right?
No. I have 4, so that... Okay, so that didn't work like I wanted.
That's 8. That's fine. That's going to be 21 for you, jacollo, right? It's going to be 8 because of your constitution. For rank up, or should I say, sorry, Bobby, it's going to be 8. For you, Mundane, that's actually pretty nice roll. It's 20. I believe your constitution is plus 4, right? Or am I wrong?
My constitution's 4, yes. Plus 4.
And then, K-Bolt, are you only rolling 1 die? Why are you only rolling 1?
Oh, was I supposed to do more than 1?
Yeah, if you want to take not loot and you actually want to rest, you need to roll 2.
Oh. But...
And add your constitution twice, basically, as well. What is your constitution?
So I just have
what is your plus for your constitution? Plus 3, plus 2, what is it?
It's plus 2.
So you add basically 15 back to your HP. If you're going back to max, you're going back to max. That's how that works. Okay, so honestly, good rolls from everyone here, honestly. I'm pretty sure you all kind of almost topped up. Now let's move on into our lovely Bobby lootings. So, you have here few corpses, and I want to zoom in because I don't remember. This particular one doesn't count, it's just basically supposed to be the spirit wolf before the end of the combat.
Just the spirit, so.
So I'm just going to move it out, just to make sense. these are normal gnolls, these kinds. These are, where are they? They're the warlord gnolls, and then we have the wolves. Now, of course, there are some of them that basically bring Scorch to fire, so some of these are not, well, usable. So I recommend to, what is the good role for this, I guess? For this particular situation, to kind of like appraise this kind of thing, how they look. I forgot what's the good role for this.
Investigation? I don't know.
I think investigation.
Investigation is always good.
Investigation is fine.
So I should. So
Yeah,
I
roll
should do my investigation.
Okay, so out of all of these, I would say that one warlord gnoll, or should I say not warlord gnoll, but actual big gnoll body, like actually survived to its fullest. The two others, or I think there only was one other. The other one kind of like it's looking really, really bad. The wolves, basically, what you have here, half of them are dead to like fire because they actually ran through the fire. The other half are okay. But some of them, like, there's only one that is actually really, really looking good. And then for the small gnolls, basically, except from, like, maybe 3 of them, the other few are just, like, looking fine for their bodies to kind of, like, loot and not scorched to oblivion. So let's say this, and this, like, those 3 specifically, those 3 that I'm going to move right now, these are the 3 that are scorched. The rest of the gnolls, small gnolls, are fine. So we have here 1 body, 2 bodies, 3 bodies, 4 bodies, 5 bodies, 6 bodies, 7 bodies. Then with the wolves themselves, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 of them are scorched and not usable. And then 2 of them are okay, mediocre, and then 1 of them is fine. So... oh, actually, there are 3 warlords, so 1 of them is actually dead completely as well. You have 2 that are scorched and 1 that is fine. So, let's start with the... which ones you're going to start with first? The wolves, the gnolls, or...
Let's do the warlord.
Okay, so you need to roll for this one. I believe... what's the rule for that one is? I believe it's actually still investigation again, because you need to investigate the body, I believe, or what is that one? It's investigation again, right? Was another one survival, which is technically for, like, taking... not survival. I need to double-check things, because I forgot so many things again. So just give me a second. But I believe specifically that for this specific situation, you have... let's see... why do we don't have survival here? Anyway, let's see. Anyway, we have here the following, which is basically for this particular situation, I think you're going to go investigation. And on the bodies that you actually, like, you need to then, like, cut things, you will need to go survival. So, for the warlords, let's go with that first. Warlord. Okay. Are you rolling?
Oh, okay. Roll. Boom. There we go. I was waiting for something else there.
I just didn't,
so
like,
warlord.
Wait, what's happening? It was like, oh, he's not rolling.
That was an awkward silence.
Yes. Like,
if I've ever heard one.
I genuinely thought that I lagged out for a bit.
Yes, same here. I was like, wait, they can't hear me? Oh, I'm just dumb. I didn't say anything. Anyway. So, basically what you're finding on this body, you're actually finding quite a few things. Some of them are usable, some of them are kind of weird. The first thing that you're finding is a necklace of bones. Very small bones on his neck. Looks like...
hell yeah, drip.
Bird's beaks, maybe even like human toes, you don't know. Just different kinds of bones. You're not really a bones expert, so it's not really what you're looking for in terms of, like, you know, what you're kind of like finding there. You are able to find, like, you know, his own weapons. You do have like a pretty wild axe, like, you know, wildness axe, but it's like a usable axe. That's fine. He has a small like wood shield, just normal things, and then he does have a little bit of like prized possessions, which are like looking to be some small amount of shiny rocks. Basically, you have like a handful of shiny rocks. You're not sure if they're really valuable because they're not really looks like diamonds or stuff like that, but they look like shiny rocks that this gnome wanted to pick up. So different kind of shiny rocks. I guess it's like about 20 of them, kind of overall. And then technically you can take some of his teeth and everything, but that's kind of like additional stuff. And you also find some other things that you're probably not going to find useful, as like rotten meat and stuff like that. They're kind of like kind of disgusting, which if you want to you could take, but they're not really useful in terms of selling and everything if that's what you're looking for. So there are some bad like things on him, but for the most part he has some useful things. So again, necklace of bones, which is pretty okay.
I already wrote the good things
I'm just
down.
going to go over things again, so just to see I'm not forgetting. And then the handful of gems, which is like about 20, not gems, but like shiny stones. You also find like 5 copper as well. Let's throw that in there as well.
5 of what?
5 copper.
5 copper.
Copper.
Oh, copper, okay.
5 copper. Next, what do you want to investigate now next, or just go over next?
Let's go for the basic wolves, I guess.
So wolves will be, I guess, on a survival check, because you want to skin them. They don't really have anything on them. You probably want to take stuff from their bodies. So that will be a survival check. 17 is still pretty decent. So, for the two, mid-scorched wolves that are not, really, the best condition, basically you are able to take few of their teeth, the big teeth that they have. You're taking, all of these 4 that they have, because every wolf have, 4 teeth. So, basically from all of them, you can gaining, 12 usable wolf teeth that are, the long ones. From their, from their fur, from the scorched ones, you're able to kind of, maybe get, about, I guess, I'm not sure how much feet it's supposed to be. I guess to kind of make it measure. I guess you're getting overall, I think a 3 feet of good leather for wolves, wolf feather, fur, basically, or good wolf fur that you can use, including the good one, which you're able to kind of get 2 feet from him that are usable, but the other 2 you're getting half a feet from each one of them because they're not really that good. So you're getting 2 chunks of half a feet, and then 1 big long one of 2 feet. And then you're able to, if you wanted to take their meat, if you're interested in that. I'm not sure 100% if you are interested in taking some of their meat, but if you are, you could take some scorched meat, which is already cooked, or you'll be able to take raw meat. So are you interested to take some of their meat as well? That I'm also interested to hear.
I don't want to take a bunch of it, just a small bit.
So let's say,
maybe
okay.
2 portions.
So I guess
2
you'll take
meals for myself.
I guess okay. So let's say you're taking 1 steak of actual cooked meal. I guess cooked meat of the wolf that you can eat right now or today, and then 2 ones that are not. And then you basically probably ask your crew, the rest of the crew, if they want as well, I guess. I'm not sure, but you can do whatever you want to. You can ask them if they want to replenish as well, I guess.
Is there more steak there for me to cut for them?
There's a little bit of left, actually usable meat. There's not steak, but usable meat that you can cut down. There's a little bit usable meat that you can just actually create maybe a small chunk of food from it. So you could take some of it that is actually useful.
Let's get that small chunk and just leave it there for any of my members who are still getting a little bit of a rest.
Okay, so for the last thing, which is the gnolls themselves.
Yep. Roll, right?
Yes. This one is investigation again.
Up.
Oh, bother. Is
They
this
are
a
very
2
dead.
for you? Yeah, that's a 2. So from them specifically, you find some very rotten meat. Some smaller necklace of bones. They're a little bit smaller, and like they only have like maybe wolf teeth. From some of them have 2, maybe 3. The advanced gnolls that have 3 of them. They have like maybe some useful tools, kind of like for their society. But what you find is like really, really, really bad like knives and axes. Like only the big gnolls, like the warlord gnolls, got the good equipment from what you understand. So for them specifically, you got 9. You got nothing, basically. Kind of just nothing, honestly.
Well, that's sad.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm happy with my looting journey. I've written everything down.
At least you
I'm
got
good.
something. So.
Oh yeah, does eating steak heal you a bit, or you have to rest only for heals?
It's not really going to heal you for the most part.
Darn it. Darn it.
But it could maybe give you some particular benefits sometimes with food, but I'm not sure you got the mystical food. Unless, of course, you count mundanes and Gorgonak, like burning and stuff, count as mystical food, or a magical food.
That
I have
would
to have
be
that
extremely
real
interesting.
good food for the effects. All right.
Oh yeah, we still have to talk about the thing that I mentioned to you a while ago regarding the wine. But that's,
I don't see why you would want to use my berries for something as trivial as that, but okay.
oh, I have an idea. I have a plan. If of course the DM okays that. So
I have
That's
a
okay.
serious plan.
Grognak is an entrepreneur, all right?
What?
Grognak's an entrepreneur, trying to get into the wine business.
So, just to understand one thing, in the short rest, are you guys sleeping, or it just have to be like you guys just resting and like even sitting down and just like taking a time off? It has
Yeah,
to
short
be, like,
rest does not require sleep. Only you just can't do any heavy or strong work in the
okay,
meantime.
so only long rest is like you have to sleep. Got it.
Yep.
So if you want to share what you're doing in your short rest, you can. Otherwise, we're going to move forward. Okay, let us move forward.
yes,
So,
yes, please.
what are you guys going to do? You have a time to basically decide if you guys want to basically meet the wolf spirit, or you want specifically go back to the village. This is something that we still haven't figured out yet that you guys want to do.
Mundane, you're a nature guy. Do you want to meet the wolf boy spirit, man?
Considering how it almost just murdered us, I'm gonna go on a limb and say no.
He said he wanted to talk, basically.
Come on.
And we believe him.
Talking, bruh.
You can decide whatever
He
you
didn't
want
say
to.
we
I'm
were
just saying
right.
what he said. He said he wanted to talk and explain the reason why he's doing things. So he wanted to avenge his child and wanted to explain to you. He didn't say, like, oh, don't come unarmed. He just said he wanted to explain. That's what he wanted to say. He wanted to meet you. Because he wanted to talk with you. You could decide that this is a trap, but it's up to you.
Well, I'm following everyone else, but my vote is a no.
Okay.
Bro, I'm ready to just talk with the fella, have a good old sit, just chat it up.
Worst case, like, from the logic I think I understand from Bobby is like, you're just going to talk with him. Worst case scenario, it's just evolve into a fight, basically.
Yeah, I'm not a wimp, I can fight it out.
Fair enough. Okay.
If we can resolve this with as little bloodshed as we can, then I'm willing to go for that talk.
So 2 for 1 now. K-Bolt.
Cable doesn't count.
Just
Should Cable have an opinion?
no, I'll just be sitting here. Just don't pay attention to me.
Come on.
All right, Cable. Remember, when we're visiting people, don't go swords blazing.
K-Bolt, what is your decision? Are you choosing to believe this or not?
Yes, I'm going to believe it. Put my full trust into it.
Okay. So you're going to decide to vote with actually going with seeing this wolf spirit. Got it. So Mundane is the
Yes.
only one that is like the new guy that is actually supposed to bring the balance of mind into the group, but the group still don't listen. Got it. Okay.
There's only so much you can do.
Don't be a wimp.
So
That's choked
probably
me.
have one
Oh my god, that choked me.
of all of you, and I almost died.
Well, Mundane, in the worst case scenario, we can do a tactical retreat. Very
That's true, actually.
easily.
But I don't know why.
very hastily.
the dwarf.
The way that
He's a
Mundane
meat
said
shield.
it just made me laugh so hard that I basically kind of like threw water from my mouth. Oh my god. Sorry. Moving on. Sorry. So,
Okay.
sorry about that. Continue talking if you guys want to. Because I kind of like got choked. I choked for a second. I'm sorry.
Mundane, in the worst case scenario, we can quickly retreat very
I'm
manually.
still going with you. I don't agree with it, but I'm still going with you. So come on.
Remember,
Let's go.
we saved that dwarf guy. He's our meat shield.
I mean, he's only got 1 HP plus whatever he got from what we just rested from.
Well, good. That means I can loot him after he dies in this battle. Assuming if we actually have to battle.
Meat shield to die. That is not a good plan.
When have we ever had good plans?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Remember?
The greatest response that you need to say is, I don't know, I'm new to this.
No. That's all you need to know.
Ouch.
Okay,
So,
so everyone's ready. Bobby, you finished with all the looting?
Yep, totally did. Alright, our dragon boy. You're kind of dumb when it comes to talking, but apparently there's some skill that makes you a good convincer if it comes down to it.
good. Okay.
I don't know why, but you have some good conviction.
So, basically, the, what are called? The wolf spirit or Astronak said that to meet him in the middle of the woods. Now, you need to navigate to that. So, it might going to take a while, and you're not really 100% sure how to get there. But you can all roll a
Wait, hold on.
survival check.
Does this help? Being having the wanderer background?
Longer background.
I've excellent memory of maps and geography, you know?
That's true. Roll.
Does
that,
it at least my
that
roll
for
get
me.
advantage or something?
Just give me a second. I'll read it in a second. So, you have excellent memory of maps and geography. You can always recall general layouts of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find fresh... Yeah, roll with advantage.
Alright, cool.
You didn't really need it, but sure. It's better than nothing. And now, K-Bolt, what are you rolling?
What am I rolling?
Yes, roll
Your survival.
You're rolling
Oh.
survival. You're rolling survival.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. I have to do that, don't I?
Yes.
Yes.
Technically still better than mundane because it's not a nat 1. So, what's going to happen right now is pretty simple. It takes a little bit of a while for you guys to find a little bit of the road for it, but jacollo, Gordnak and Bobby are able to kind of like navigate you around. Bobby, with his a little bit of expertise of how the layout of the land works, or should I say the layout of the land, he kind of like, you already were in this forest, you already grew in like a small village that have a forest around it, like a small forest. He understands the layout of the places around him, so he's able to kind of like say, oh, this way guys, I'm pretty sure that this is where the way we need to go to kind of like get to the middle of the woods. And then basically you have to kind of like a little bit do some detours, because apparently Mundane and K-Bolt kind of like lost in conversation or something, and they kind of like got lost a little bit middle of the way, so you needed to backtrack and grab them back by the shirt. So that's kind of like mostly happens. But essentially,
We're always hand-holding with them. We're always hand-holding with them.
Yes, but essentially you find up the road, and now you're kind of like moving forward on the way to the middle of the forest. So it's going to take a little bit of a while, but you have a time a little bit to talk if you want to, before you will get to kind of like what do you think to be the middle of the forest. Also with the maps that you have and everything. So, laddies, are you sure you're prepared for this?
Not at all.
I'm never prepared, and yet I'm still here.
I'm never listening.
That is true.
Are we sure
What?
there's deaf in one ear?
Yes.
At least
We are
one here.
unfit for this
Yeah,
situation.
too.
At least you, and like you see, like, you know, Eldritch kind of like pat Cable in the back and say, you're admitting it. At least that's kind of like fixing half of the problem.
The first step is acknowledging.
Admitting is the... Exactly.
But again, if you don't go through the rest of the steps, you'll never fix it entirely.
Oh my
And do you think we're going to fix our problems? No.
No. Never. You left Mendel in the village, right?
In the village, yes.
Okay, just want to make 100% sure. So basically, what happens now is that you are getting into the middle of the forest, as kind of like shown in the map. In the middle of the forest is kind of like what you like to call, like, you know, this open area that there's no trees and no everything.
Clearing.
Like, you know, a clearing in a way. It's kind of like, but it's not a big one. It's a very, like, you could see in the distance already the end of it that is kind of like the continuing on with the forest. This is kind of like, I forget the word for it, like, you know, a small clearing in the forest, but it's not like a big one. It's a very small one. And in the middle of it, there's some particular, like, you know, looks like to be a small hill and stuff like that. There's, like, small bits of stones and different things around. Nothing really looks out of the ordinary for the most part. You are still in, like, I would say, like, early noon for the most part. Like, early noon, maybe, like, noon right now. Actually, not early noon, sorry. Early afternoon. So yeah, that's where you are right now.
This is the place. I think this is the place.
Man, don't tell me you showed up late. Come on, man. Your whole spirit, you can probably just float over to there or something, and you're late. There's no excuse.
Okay, Gorgonak starts to scream, to yell, "Hey, Mr. Spirit Wolf Guy! Come on! We're here!"
He said that he will be in midnight, first off. Secondly, you're not sure that this is, you are sure that this is the middle of the woods, but you're not sure exactly, like, why there's nothing happening here. You will expect it, like, probably more guards and stuff, right? And actually somebody is, like will pay attention to you, like actually at least gnolls around, and you haven't met anyone, so that's kind of interesting. But like I said again, he said it will be in midnight, so he didn't say right now. So it's still.
You better be grabbing us beers.
Okay.
Okay, so we came in early.
Yes.
I would like to scout the area for
Investigation
anything.
or survival for this one?
Perception? Question mark?
That could be perception.
What's perception
but
for?
I'm not sure. Perception, I guess, for what is around. Investigation, if you
I want to see if there's anything
around you
that
is not around
would
you.
indicate that this is a trap.
Okay, so
basically.
that is perception. If you want to investigate the area itself, that will be investigation. So basically perception if you want to see everything around you.
Oh, perception check as well.
Both of you kind of just like Bobby, you kind of like take a little bit of a second for you because it's kind of like a little bit harder for you. You kind of, your mind is still focused on the looting, but for the most part, like Gorgnak, you're just finding out that it's like, yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing that will indicate that it's a trap. It's just a clear place with a lot of small animals running around. It's nothing really corrupted or trappy heavy or anything. Just a clearing in the woods, like the middle of the forest. It was like a small clearing here.
No indication of a possible ambush.
There is some runes, like not runes, but like looks like to be some small symbols on the trees, but nothing like looks to be like crazy. Oh, it's an ambush. Oh, it's something there. It looks like there are some old like marks on some of the trees, basically.
Okay, that got me interested. I'm investigating those.
Okay, investigation. You have no idea what they are. They're kind of like some of them are kind of like looks to you like actual like claws of wolves. Some of them looks to you like spiral like how you draw like small children basically kind of like draw snails. Nothing really looks to you that you kind of understand at all. Just there are some markings. You find some of them. You're not able to find all of them. Obviously, like you find like very few of them. But they're just like to you, what you understand is like, oh, these are probably animals left them, or they're like, maybe were useful sometime, now I'm not really sure about it.
Nothing important.
At least for the moment.
Don't say something so ominous.
Anything else that you like to investigate? Maybe some other things in the place, or you're just going to wait for now?
So what do you think, guys? The spirit wolf may like steak? Should I cook him up?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Neat.
You know, we're guests. We should probably bring some sort of gift.
True.
You know.
Oh well.
We're already here, so what can we do?
I mean, you can still investigate. Like, you investigate, or should I say, see a perception around the area. You haven't investigated the area itself. If you want to, you can technically maybe even just, like, wait for a while. You can do a lot of things. You can even decide yourself to set an ambush if you think that will be the idea for what you want to do. Set some few traps. You have the idea, like, you can do whatever you want, honestly. You have time. That's the entire idea. You want to, like, just recommend you to use it wisely. You have, like, few hours.
We have a few hours.
Yes, it's still not midnight. Like I said, it's early afternoon. So it's like 4.
Alright.
5.
Let me get another short rest in.
Okay, you take an hour. Anybody would like to
Yeah.
investigate the area, or at least like decide what you want to do?
I mean, I could always use more HP, so I'll take a short rest too.
Okay, for an hour for both of you. Anybody else want to take another hour? Okay, 8.
I think I'm almost topped up now. Cool.
Will be good enough. Mundane need to roll as well. His 8 as well, in a different way. Jacollo, Cable, are you going to use your time for this hour to investigate some stuff, or you're just going to basically kind of like sit around doing nothing?
I want to find a nice, comfortable rock to sit on.
Investigation.
Oh, I know.
Rolling that one finds the most uncomfortable rock.
Okay.
Pokes up his
Investigation
ass.
to find the rock. Let's go.
Okay, investigate the rock. Ooh!
Damn it.
Okay. That's high. That's interesting. So, as you investigate the rocks around you, you are notice that some of them have some weird symbols, but you don't care. You care about the most comfortable rock. You some find, like, weird symbols as, like, the same as, like, what's his name again? This stupid character from Chapter 1 named Gorgnak, not really, but, Gorgnak, you find the same kind of, like, markings or same, like, things that he describes in a little bit of places there. You don't really care about it. Mostly what you care about is that every single time you just sit on one different rock, and you just, like, is that comfortable? And you sit on, like, taking the entire hour, kind of, like, sitting from, like, the 10 rocks that are around, until you decide, let's climb the small hill. Maybe the rock in the middle will be very, very comfortable. And then you sit on it. And, yes, it's very comfortable. But, the moment that you're doing this, all of you guys are basically hearing a small quake around you. Like, you're feeling a small quake, and you kind of, like, hearing, like, you look at all of the stones, they're lighting up in red color, and then they're turning back down to a different color, to like, they're actually what they are.
Cables, what did you do?
You get comfy once, and then you're just ripping huge farts, man. What the hell?
I just wanted to find a rock, okay? That's it. I got my rock, I'm satisfied.
Don't blame me, but I don't believe you. What did you do?
What? Huh?
You did look at him. You saw it on every single rock possible, and then you saw it on the one in the middle, on the little hill. That's what he did. It's not really something that is hidden. You just seen him just going around every single rock possible that is big enough to sit on, and then find a.
Okay, I'm investigating those rocks.
Okay. You don't really need a.
They are very rocky.
No. I'm going to say this right now because of you. I wanted to say this because of you, kind of like very curious about this, or should I say, cautious about this. You kind of like, you are looking deeper into this, so you're getting advantage. It's not the best advantage, but it's still a little bit of advantage for this. So it's 13. So basically, you're getting that, like, the trees and the rocks kind of like, they have some kind of like, not connection, but the symbols that are on the rocks kind of like look like some of the symbols on the trees. And there's maybe some kind of like a certain thing that needs to be done here, because you might need to, like, probably sit on them or press them in a certain order. That's what you're getting from this, because, something was supposed to happen. Like, it's kind of like a different, like, I'm not going to say, like, because I want to feed you, but, like, it makes sense for you to think that, like, something was supposed to happen here. It's just, we didn't do it in the right sequence. It makes sense for you. There's, like, yeah, it's just probably supposed to be something in a certain sequence that we are not sure about yet.
Hey, Mundane! Could you come over here for a moment?
What is it this time?
You're an intelligent guy. I point at I point at the rocks. Is that anything very interesting? Because I found it interesting. What do you think it is?
The rocks.
There are markings on them.
But they have those markings, and the same markings are on the trees.
Okay. Well, take a look at the markings. Do they seem to be any sort of language?
I think, like, what language you're trying to decipher this in? As, like, or like you're trying to do investigation, or should I say like knowledge, nature knowledge, or kind of what are you trying to kind of like gain out of this?
I'm mainly trying to figure out if these markings are a language.
You could maybe say that there may be magical language. You're not sure.
Because I'm thinking forests, weird runes. It could be druidic, primordial, maybe even some elvish, all of which I speak. And
Right, you are speaking different kind of languages that I forgot about. So yeah, those are different letters. And what language do you have again? I think it's like druidic and.
I have druidic, elvish, and primordial, as well as common, of course.
I'm pretty sure it's for you specifically. It's druidic for Gorgnak. Like I'm pretty sure how druidic works is like for them it just looks like symbols. They don't really understand them. For you, it looks like letters that you can actually understand. Like not really written in like the best way possible, but you can decipher that these are different letters in the druidic alphabet or whatever what it's supposed to be.
Hey Dumbo, you actually got something good here. Let me take a look. I want to try to see if I could try to piece together the letters. Maybe they go into a certain order to make a certain word.
If not for this situation right now, you would have been punched.
I'm going to give you the few letters that it's here, like in a different order in the way that you're like probably be able to understand. I'm just going to write it down in chat, so I'm just going to specifically write down the different letters that you have here. You have multiples of them, and some of them even are small rocks. So I'm going to write them in English, obviously, but they're going to be in a different, like, manner. So this goes...
Of course.
So it's going to take me a few moments. So you're going to find basically one O letter, one O, okay? Write it down. You're going to find one G, two E's, three E's, not two. Then you're going to find also one A, two T's. What letters have been on? O, T, A, E, and I believe G, right? So those are the letters I've been here. Then you're also going to find one H, one P, one W, one Y, and then one N. Those are the letters that you're going to find.
I have no idea what this could be.
So basically, this is going to be a small thing that is kind of like, you have kind of like either basically, I want you to roll for me an investigation with advantage, okay? With advantage.
Okay.
That's really good.
Oh my.
Because that's going to save you a very lot of trouble. You see there is different kind of sets of rock depending on, like, their particular, size, basically, depending on their size. So, you have one of the O, the P, the N, and the E are in one side group of word. So it could create one word or some particular thing that they're going to be in their own sequence. The A, the T, the G, and one of the other E's are going to be basically their own, like, second group of letters. Then E, H, and T are going to be, again, another group of letters. And then Y, W, and A are going to be another set of letters. You wrote those down? Or do I need to go over this again?
What?
So
okay,
from
okay, so
what you're getting here, you have like 2 words of 4 letters and 2 words of 3 letters.
I'm getting open the gateway. That's all I'm getting out of this.
Okay. So you're going to try to press open the gateway in the sequence?
I do.
Okay, and then specifically, are you going to ask like specifically press also the kind of like, you know, ask Cable to move and then press the middle or sit on the middle?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so all of the rocks, because of this, are now lighting in this pleasant green that kind of like creating like a little bit of like, you know, north light kind of light in a way. I'm not really sure how to explain this because now it's kind of like starting to be evening. So basically, you're kind of like creating like this, like the entire, you know, opening of the forest or like the middle of the forest, kind of like this small thing, kind of like getting not covered, but like, you know, this circle is kind of like going to have this small, lovely little green touch to it, like, you know, kind of like light, like I said, like the north lights, and then basically the middle rock is kind of like opening up like a smallish, like it's kind of like opening up kind of like a gate, and you have like a smallish like not portal, but like looks kind of like cave going in, but it's not like looking like a cave. It's kind of like a small way to go into a inner woods, basically. That's where it's leading you into.
You first.
To who you're saying that?
Our meat shield dwarf, right?
Cable,
Sure.
come over here for a moment.
Yeah.
I push Cable
Okay.
into the portal.
Well, I'm in the portal now.
It's not really a portal. You're just going through. You're falling a little bit, but you're not falling on your face. But you are finding yourself in what looks to be kind of like a smaller, more denser woods that are kind of like after the walk. Like, you think it's going to be a small place, but no. The moment that you're getting in, it's just a really, really big-ish line of, you know, trees. Like, more dense trees. This looks to be kind of like, you know, kind of like Middle Earth stuff, I guess, but I'm not really sure how to explain that. Kind of like more dense and darker woods, but it's not like looking like sinister or anything. It just looks kind of weird that the place behind the rock is bigger. It's kind of like a pocket dimension in a way. So that's what you're seeing, and basically kind of like entering into. Just give me a second. Okay, so that's what you're seeing, and basically you're just kind of just walking into it. You are starting to hear noises though. In this particular woods, you're hearing these like small, I wouldn't say like laughs, but like, you know, kind of like, how should I say this, like kind of what are called whispers of some people talking, or different kind of like things. For you specifically, mundane, it's kind of like understandable as maybe could be a spirits of different kind of animals, or you know, fey creatures that are basically like around you and kind of like talking about you. And basically I need all of you to roll for me a survival check here. Okay, that's fine. And K-Bolt. Okay, so specifically, I'm going to say this right now. Bobby is the only one that is basically able to kind of like move forward with no difficulties. The other three, you guys are kind of just having a little bit more difficult time moving forward. Actually, I should probably give a mundane advantage because it's somewhere that he's very familiar with, or at least used to. So I guess mundane is also okay, but K-Bolt and Gorgnak, you're having a little bit more harder time, and you kind of like taking, I guess from all like the different thorns and everything around, I'm going to take away from you 5 points of health total from both of you, 5 from each.
God damn, this is a deadly forest.
After a little bit of walking around and getting into it, you're finally kind of like getting into kind of like what looks like a clearing. It's not really a full clearing, but it's just going to take a little bit few moments. So you are going to get into this particular place, basically. Okay? And in this particular place, you are going to just see like, you know, a middle of like, you know, the woods-ish kind of place. Can you even see anything, by the way?
Yep.
Okay, so this is
Yes.
the place that you find yourself in. It looks like to be the end of the so-called grove-ish place, or whatever this is supposed to be. You guys are just like standing here, and it looks like to be kind of like a smaller shrine, but not exactly. It's kind of like, you know, more of like wildish shrine, I guess. So I guess this is kind of like the more like the biggest connection that the wild have to their gods, I guess, or different spiritual spirits, in like the way that they're doing it. So for you specifically, Gorgnak, it's kind of weird. You're used to more like in concrete, like actual buildings and actual like big temples. This looks to you kind of like, I wouldn't say alien, but kind of like maybe a little bit barbaric. But then again, you're also part barbarian, so that's fine. But for the most part, it just looks for you a little bit different. And essentially, you have at least few hours before the midnight, and you're actually like just sitting here, and you have the ability, if you want to plan something small before actually here, because you kind of like probably guess that this is the place that is going to meet you, because there's really no way to go forward, and it looks like to be a good place for meeting.
Neat. We found it. I found it.
Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
Good for you. I knew you could do it. I believed in you. Okay, so I'll investigate the area.
okay, roll investigation. Nothing is out of the ordinary. Everything is fine. You should be
It's a
good.
forest. It's a forest. And there are rocks.
It's a forest. Big trees. Big rocks. Rocks big. Rock big. Rock throw.
Solid rock.
Solid rock, basically. Solid war rock. Oh wait, those are never
God
solid.
damn it! God damn it!
Just be careful that you will not invoke the wrath of the meteor, the primal being.
How do we do that?
You just need to summon 5 of yourself at the same time at the shrine, or should I say, like, you know, consecutive times. So it's like basically it's going to be Bobby, then Gorgnak, then you summon Cable, then you summon Mundane, and then Eldritch will summon itself, and then like, oh no, you did something wrong. I'm just going to throw on you a rock, killing all of you, and summon a amalgamation of a token.
It's a good thing I don't have conjure animals yet. Otherwise, I might have actually summoned 5 animals at once.
Oh my god, Yu-Gi-Oh jokes are so fun. But regardless, you guys are kind of like preparing. If you want to prepare a small trap or whatever, you have a time for that if you want to. Or like, you know, at least like scout the area and like kind of like preparing an advantage for yourself, you can do as well. Also, Cabled, stop. But
He's
specifically,
scouting.
you could roll a perception or investigation for that if you want to. But Gorgnak specifically, you are kind of just like, you know, you're sitting on one of these rocks, right? And you kind of just like, when you're closing your eyes for a second, you find yourself in one of your dreams again. It doesn't really take a whole lot of time, right? Like, you're not like sitting there like, 20 hours like feeling of, what you had the first time in those temple that you have. But you do see the same temple that you have in the dream like a little bit a while back when you started your journey in like Leosis temple. And essentially you also see the same temple, but now it's kind of like covered with different kind of thorns. And these ones are not looking like an actual like nature thorns. They're looking like a little bit more of like evil cursed thorns, but not exactly. It's kind of like, it doesn't really look like it's hurt the temple, but it's kind of like, looks like it's kind of like around you and kind of like climbing on different places that you didn't really expect. It's kind of like covered in a little bit of red energy. And you kind of like hear in your head, it was like kind of like a voice of a woman that's just telling you, "Why are you not using me, Gorgnak? Use me." And then you just like kind of like open up your eyes.
What?
That's only what Gorgnak is seeing, not you.
Oh.
It's only for Gorgnak.
It still seems funny.
Yes, but that's something that Gorgnak will understand. Or no.
Gorg
Yes.
needs to use them.
Yes, I do understand.
Good. I actually thought it would be nice for you to understand that. Regardless, that's kind of like what's going to happen. You guys are just preparing ahead to, for the next stuff. Again, if you have anything specifically to add for the specific, traps or whatever you want to prepare for, we're going to go over it after the break, because now we're going to basically enter into Part B after, again, taking a short break. See you after that, everyone.